Welcome to the next edition of the Best Fleets to Drive podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking to our sponsors about why they wanted to get involved with the program. And right now, we're joined by Trish Bethel of the program itself. And of course, we're here with Kyle Hales, VP of Sales from Epic View.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Kyle. Great of you to join us today.
Well, it is my pleasure to be on this call with both of you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to join you.
Well, thank you for being one of our sponsors. Tell us, if you will, why did you choose to get involved with Best Fleets?
Well, we would have to go back in time several years ago. When presented the opportunity to join or sponsor the Best Fleet program, it really was a no-brainer for Epic View because we are a very niche product. Not many fleets look at us and think, that's a product I have to have. It's more of a want than it really is a need. And so we knew that by associating ourselves with Best Fleets and working at the time, you guys unknowingly had many customers of Epic View that had signed up for our service. And it was a good marriage between the two companies, because those who are nominated year after year after year tend to be the fleets and tend to be those on the, I guess, looking ahead at fleets who try to take care of their drivers as best they can. And so, for Epic View, we've always been a product that's been about recruiting and retention and quality of life. And we know that this program obviously is driver nominated, and it takes drivers looking deep within the fleet whom they're driving for and realize that they're different. And the title of Best Fleets isn't something that just casually gets handed out there to people who think they're doing a great job, but are actually backing up everything that they do and say with actions. And so we've been very blessed and very honored to be associated with you all for many years, and know that it's a win-win, frankly, for us and for your guys' nominees and for the winners of the program. And so it's been a great 7, 8, 9 years, I think, is what we've been at this now, and continue to get the recognition and help fleets really stand out above, the good or average fleets by putting our name and our brand behind something as well run as the Best Fleets program.
So, Kyle, I got a question. Two
Rick.
questions, but here's the first question. So, when did you start Epic View?
So the idea hatched. We're going on 11 years ago now. In 2013, we were approached by some industry influencers who were looking for a solution to provide in-cab amenities like, at the time, satellite TV. And back then, there wasn't a real solution for fleets to be able to put a bundled package together and make available to their drivers. And so it took us, my background and the background of my partner, our CEO, Lance, and some others, was working with DirecTV. We'd worked with them in a lot of different capacities for years prior to starting Epic View. And it was really through the relationship that we have with them and helping them see the vision and catch the vision of putting together a program for fleets to be able to take advantage of and making in-cab amenities like satellite TV available to them. And so, 11 years ago, we had contacted DirecTV about this opportunity. They loved the idea. It wasn't an area of focus for their business. And so we jumped on it with them, and we are coming up on our 10-year mark as actually having been serving this industry. June of this year will mark 10 years that we've been providing in-cab amenities like this. And over the years, we've seen technology change. And what we're really excited about now and moving forward is a product that we call Epic View Plus that makes in-cab amenities more than just entertainment. We've, as you guys know, made education and engagement platforms part of our service offering, and include or have now begun to offer in-cab Wi-Fi or cellular. And we're not talking about a cellular package that will, transmit a few things here and there, but actually a data package that will really connect the truck to all of the different things that you could imagine a driver wanting or needing inside there. And so, we take a lot of pride in helping fleets entertain their drivers, help them educate the driver, and stay engaged with the driver while out there on the road through this new service. And so it's hard to believe it's been 10 years, Rick, but here we are with a different focus and really trying to help fleets at a very challenging time. I mean, it's not easy for fleets today, with them having to pinch pennies and look at costs, but those that have it have certainly seen the benefit of staying connected with the driver and offering them a service like this that undoubtedly helps in their retention and their recruiting, and makes driving over the road, much easier for these drivers that spend many nights on the road by themselves.
So you said about 10 years ago, 2013. Take me to 2011. So what are fleets? What are drivers banging up against? What's the gap? What are they facing at that point that made you guys go, oh, there's the window in?
Well, for us, and prior to this, I'll be the first one to admit, our foray into this space, I like many who come into this industry, didn't know what it took for fleets, how difficult it was for fleets to hire and to retain quality drivers. Driver shortage, was the thing that we heard all the time when we first entered this market. And we thought, well, shoot, with a population that, depending on who you listen to, is somewhere between 48 and 50 some odd years. It's a population that's getting older, and the industry had a really hard time attracting talent and quality drivers for a lot of different reasons that we obviously don't have to get into right now. But for us, we felt like this product was something that would attract people to want to stay on the road for longer. I mean, fleets spend, exorbitant amounts of money to do what they can. They spend thousands of dollars to hire, recruit, retain drivers, or try to retain drivers, and it just felt like a revolving door for them. They'd hire them and then they'd leave for better pay or for different, lifestyle things. And we felt like, while we don't profess to be a silver bullet for anybody or anything, we know that having an amenity like this in the cab makes the driver feel a little bit more at home and a little bit more connected to life on the road. So if it's a show that they hear about that their friends or their family are talking about, and they have no idea, what that is, it's shocking how many stories we'd hear from drivers firsthand, what this service has meant to them by now having that connectedness, I guess, for knowing what the latest hit was, or catching the game or staying connected to the current events that our service would afford them.
So Trish, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know about you, Rick, or you, Kyle, but I know at the end of a long day, it's nice to sit down with your family and watch a show and have a few laughs and just get away from whatever you've been dealing with all day long. So I would imagine this is just, the missing piece for drivers so that they do have that connection point still.
I say all the time to fleets when we're afforded the opportunity to talk to them and get to a point where they're serious about making a decision to move forward with EpicView or not. Decompress is the word I use a lot with fleets.
Yeah.
And we're not asking or suggesting for any second that a driver is going to spend their evening binge watching 8 hours of TV and they've got to wake up the next morning and go, because that's definitely not the point. The average age for the average length of time, I should say, for somebody who consumes media of some sort is between 1 and 3 hours a day. And if this gives them something to decompress at the end of a long, stressful day on the road, whether that's them catching up on news, weather that they're about to travel into, sports, or just a fun comedy show that they want to sit back and watch. That's really what it's about. And again, it doesn't fix them being away from their family. It doesn't fix them missing out on some things. But when you take what we do and you think about what a best fleet is, they're the ones who are forward thinking and think, we've got to provide services like this to our drivers if we want to try to help stop this revolving door, this driver turnover that everybody's faced with. And again, here we are 10 years later, and we're very blessed to say that we've worked with hundreds of fleets across the country. Tens of thousands of drivers have used our satellite service, and we're entering a new age. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you, technology has changed, and it's affected our business. We've had to pivot and move with the times, and we feel like we've got a new product that is here to stay and offers more to a fleet, a best fleet, if you will, to offer their drivers who are looking for something more than just providing them entertainment. Again, the education and the engagement platforms and tools really came over the years working with the fleets, and then and them helping us know what they needed or what they wanted. We call it their own fleet channel. Our engagement app is something that allows the fleet to send communications, video messaging, and other interactions that they can have with the drivers while out there on the road. And so we feel like there's more of a give and a take now for a fleet to say they get something out of this service instead of the driver just being entertained at night for hours at a time that the fleet can now have access to. So
it's efficiency and entertainment.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I've seen a connection between the Best Fleets program, not just what you're offering, but your approach to your business. So Trish has often told me about the winners, the Best Fleets winners, and the fleets to watch and things like that, and how every year you have to try a little bit harder because those goalposts are always moving, right? And so
they do.
So a company that hit the list 10 years ago and just stayed where they were, they're not going to keep making that list. They've got to say, okay, well, how am I going to make it better for my drivers? And from what you've described with both how you started and how you thought about making it better and then your new products, that's the same approach. Like you could have stopped what you're doing in 2015. Said, okay, this is what we got, this is what we're offering, that's it. And well, by 2024, you'll be like, it's old hat. But instead, you keep pushing and keep, what else can I offer? How can I make it better? And that sort of mimics the same approach as our Best Fleets winners. I see the connection there.
That constant evolution.
Yeah.
It is a constant evolution, and for somebody being in business and helping run a business, you've always got to keep your head on a swivel and know what challenges are ahead, and not being afraid of those challenges, but embracing them. I mean, for us, we thought satellite was here to stay. It was a nice product. It was a go anywhere product. You didn't require and you didn't need data. You could virtually be anywhere in the world and have entertainment in your truck because of a satellite. But now, thank you, Netflix. Thank you, other streaming services that I don't know if I can say that and not get in trouble, but thank you, other streaming services that have made, how people consume media so much more different than before. And for us, it's all about embracing that and saying, hey, what was linear content, we can now make a better mousetrap, offer a better mousetrap for fleets to say, hey, yeah, this is right in line with what other drivers are telling us they're doing out there on the road, streaming this or streaming that. And really helping them still see the value of a product like Epic View and knowing that they're getting something that is fleet specific. This is a product that, a company like DirecTV has invested, a lot of money in to make work for us, to make work for this industry. And they believe in it, more than most people want to give credit for, but it's something that we know, once they have, drivers are happy. Drivers, you guys are a result of fleets talking so well about what fleets are doing that here they are being nominated for a prestigious award that not a lot of people can rest their hat on or hang their hat on and say we're one of that small fraternity of fleets that can claim we do it right for the drivers.
So there's a critical question. When it comes to the big event in Charlotte, NASCAR Hall of Fame, are they going to let you out of the office and send you down there?
Yeah, you better believe it. Me and my partner Lance will be there. Looking forward to shaking a lot of hands and congratulating those that made it, and for the winners. So I will definitely be in Charlotte. Yes.
Excellent. What's your favorite part about the whole conference?
That's a really good question because I go in there and with an open mind. I'm really observe. I really try to observe um, what the fleets are there to gain from their experience, and so the thing I've always appreciated about this industry is the willingness of fleets to share. Not what makes them always successful because everybody's got a secret sauce that they want to keep the recipe hidden from others, but they are willing to share best practices. What works for some may not always work for others, but the questions are being asked and answered honestly and with real intent. And so for me, I really enjoy watching the interactions of competitors coming together in a non-confrontational way and congratulating them, of course, but then also saying how or what new services or what new tools are you using to get the kind of recommendations or the recognitions rather that they're getting. And so it's just fun to be part of this industry and see fleets helping one another because when one wins, we all win. In really trying to help um, I guess put a different spin on transportation and how fleets can be rewarded and recognized for doing good because there's a lot of bad out there that people don't always that they always seem to get blamed for or fault for, but there's so much good out there in the industry that I think needs to be shared, and these fleets come together every year undoubtedly and do that.
So true. Every year, I am amazed by how much sharing there is. And ultimately, it's the drivers who reap all the benefits from it. So I hear you. I agree entirely. It's great to be a part of this industry.
Well, I think the wealth of knowledge that you guys too, do. I'm sure you've talked and will continue talking about the difficult process that it is to get nominated and all the boxes that need to be checked. But um, you guys really hold a key piece of. I think you do a phenomenal job of helping those interested in trying to be nominated for a best fleet understand what it takes. That it's not just something you roll out of bed and get because your drivers like you, but there are certain things that are required of these fleets, to be in that criteria. So it's not a popularity contest. It's not a who's paying who to be there because that's not it at all. It really is, something that takes time and effort and energy. I talk to fleets all the time who know of our affiliation with your program and say, so what does it take? And I said, look, how much time have you got? Because it's not answer. And so the work that you guys do and the light that you continually shine on this industry, I think is a great one and one that if more fleets took seriously, how trying to become a best fleet, then undoubtedly we'd be in a lot better place. And but yeah, no. So kudos for what you guys do and the difficult process that it is to be up there with the others.
Oh, thank you, Kyle.
This has been amazing, and we genuinely appreciate Epic View's participation in the entire program. And I really like independent of that, I really like the product and the service that you're delivering to folks. And Trish, I could talk to this guy all day. Like this
Oh, I
is
know.
like one of
I
the
know.
easiest conversations I've ever had. Kyle, I really appreciate this. Thank you.
No, I just wanted to thank you guys again. And Rick, you guys make it super simple and really easy to talk to. I guess that's just kind of our motto and our position. It really is about win-win for us, and you guys make it a win-win for fleets. And any chance and any opportunity we can be a guest to wrap together and talk about how we can make this industry better, I'm always there for you. But thanks so much, guys. You guys are the best, and we look forward to seeing you here in Charlotte in a few short weeks.
Can't
Amazing.
wait. By the time this comes out, it'll be about roughly 10 days later. So can't wait to see it.
All righty. Well, likewise.
Fantastic.
Y'all take care.
Rick and I are back with the second segment of our podcast. This time we get to speak with TruckRight. And we have the wonderful Chris Davies here with us today, who is their Chief Strategy Officer. And Chris wears many different hats. So, Chris, tell us about you and your role there.
No problem. Hi, guys. Glad to be here. I am, as Trish said, I'm Chief Strategy Officer at TruckRight and also at our sister company, Cap Media. I lead marketing. I co-lead sales with our founder, Dirk. I'm also involved in business strategy with the executive leadership and even the UX side of the TruckRight platform itself. I come previous to TruckRight from 25 plus years at large advertising, digital PR, direct marketing agencies, working on big technology brands like Intel, Microsoft, Okta, and TELUS, which is a major telecom company up here in Canada. We are based in Belleville, Ontario, Canada. I'm glad to be here. Nice to be here.
I've got to say, Chris, I've seen a lot of your past work, and I'm a huge fan, but I also love what TruckRight is doing for the trucking industry. Tell us about how you are making life easier for trucking companies.
Can do that. What I'll do is I'll start with the elevator pitch to let everyone who's listening know what TruckRight is. So
Perfect.
I mean, TruckRight is a robust enterprise-grade software platform, and it's built specifically for fleets, but I would say also for drivers. It essentially streamlines most aspects of compliance and HR. That includes recruiting, onboarding, orientation, and training, and it's built to meet the specific needs of the trucking industry, especially when it comes to compliance and connecting with drivers. So in the end, it saves a lot of time for safety teams, for recruiters and HR teams. It also makes all of the above significantly easier for drivers, which as an industry, we're always trying to do, right? And it's built around centralized interactive driver qualification files that can be kept up to date by the drivers themselves, which is one of the big time savers, and also the fleets as needed. It lets drivers do everything on their smartphone, right? So if you're recruiting them, they can be doing their applications through their smartphone. If they're uploading documents, if they're signing documents, if they're taking training, they can do it on this, which we know but I mean, any device really. So it kind of makes their lives easier. They can do all this admin stuff on their couch, in their wait times, like wherever it fits. And then simultaneously puts all that information at the fingertips of the fleets. The safety team has a compliance dashboard that shows how everything's looking and is going to give you alerts if anything's coming out of date. Recruiters and HR teams have a gateway that shows them where everyone's at in the pipeline and whether they have stuff due. So fleets can maintain a super high level of compliance, but it also facilitates retention, right? By making everything easy for the drivers, by really enriching that communication and making it streamlined and automatic. It helps keep drivers around for longer.
I will admit, Chris, about, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I was able to sit in on a demonstration of the TruckRight platform.
Nice, you got the demo. I love it.
I didn't know, man. I mean, I knew that it was a robust system, but I had no idea the depth, the granularity, the user friendliness, all the things that you want to find in there. You can find it. So it was super impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, it goes deep. It's highly configurable. And that's that granularity you were talking about. It can be configured to fit a fleet's existing processes, their workflows, whatever it happens to be. It can take on their brand. So It looks like if you're Fleet X, it looks like Fleet X's environment when you're in there. Obviously, it has the recruiting portion. I would say the best ATS in trucking, but the real focuses are on retention and compliance, right? We to us, really, retention and compliance are the most important things. Our clients to be those best fleets, to throw some nice words around that match up what you guys are doing. And so retention matters the most, and obviously that high level of compliance as well, and making sure that everything stays up and running and that risk is down. That's really our focus. I think we started on kind of founding principles of helping fleets thrive and making drivers' lives easier. Our co-founders, Dirk and Lisa Coupard, they were drivers for a long time, and they've built other companies within the industry since then. But I mean, driver welfare, making their lives better, contributing to their well-being, that's really close to their hearts, and ergo to our culture as a company and what we're trying to accomplish. And so everything we do is done with that in mind, while simultaneously making things streamlined, easier for fleets, and helping them operate better. But we know that happy drivers means drivers stay, and happy drivers staying contributes to better business, which you guys every year prove again and again through the program you run, right?
So true. So true. Well, I was going to ask, why are you a sponsor of Best Fleets? But I think you kind of told us that.
I can go on for hours about it. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I mean, our values align if we want to if we want to cut it down, and what you do comes right out of our core values of making life better for drivers, and helping fleets get better and better all the time at what they do. Without, I mean, to us, the Best Fleets is the program that helps do that in the industry, showing fleets how they can be better for their drivers and better for themselves, and giving that cold hard data, you know, from themselves and from the mouths of the drivers about what they need to be doing to get better and better at it. And I mean, I think we see that the fleets that are top, the fleets that are top fleets, or best fleets, sorry, and the fleets that are in the Hall of Fame, and the fleets that show up year in and year out, these are also very successful fleets. And it just shows how people on the road, making sure that they're having a great experience, bubbles all the way up and then down to the bottom line. So,
right. And I think, you know, there was a time in the industry, hopefully it's quite a long time ago, where thinking about how to make your trucking business better, the drivers were an afterthought, right?
Yeah.
How do I optimize? How do I make it more efficient? All these things. And it seems like both the Best Fleets program and Truck Right get that actually, if you want to make your business better, the driver is an integral piece of that. And
yeah,
making things better, making the work environment better, making everything easier for drivers is a necessary part of improving your business.
It's the underlying part. It's a foundation, right? I mean, it's a hard job. We know it's a hard job. It has long hours depending on what you're doing. I mean, the drivers are the brand. They're the company. They're out there. They're doing the thing. They're meeting the customers. They're doing a lot of the work. And I mean, get that fundamental right, and a lot of other things are going to fall into place pretty easily. It's just a no-brainer to us, really, right? And it underlies everything in the industry, in my opinion.
So true.
I gave a short answer. Surprise! I gave a short answer. Happens from time to time.
If Chris is talking, wait an extra 10 seconds. Something else is going to come out.
But I mean, as far as Best Fleets goes, to me, Best Fleets is the pinnacle of helping make drivers' lives better. I mean, Truck Right has sponsored Best Fleets for a long time, and we always will, because it's just vital. I view it as vital to improve that driver well-being and drive constant improvement in the industry for all the reasons we just talked about. Best Fleets winners are winners in business too, flat out, and winners for their drivers, and just plain good companies to work for. That's all there is to it.
So Chris, clearly you're not Dirk, but it seems to me, as someone who was a driver, there must have been a whole set of experiences that made clear the gap that Truck Right then steps into. And so,
for sure, yeah. I mean, I'm not a trucker. I've never been a driver, right? I mean, given how long people are often in this industry, I am fairly new. I'm coming around to 2 years in trucking now. I joined Truck Right almost 2 years ago. I'm learning a lot from Dirk, obviously, just coming along for the ride. But I had the advantage of coming into this industry with zero preconceived notions, zero biases about it. I had worked in so many different industries. As a person who worked in agencies, I had client lists like across all these different industries, and I saw how they operated and the inefficiencies, especially, which are in every industry. So coming into Truck Right, I knew nothing. So I spent a long time and just learning and observing and getting out on the road and meeting people and seeing what's going on. And to me, it was really clear right away the difference between what good fleets do and maybe mediocre fleets do is the same as what good companies in all industries do or don't do, if they're not good, which is have an engaged employee base, make life as good as possible for the people who are doing the work for you and interacting with your customers, and it goes well. The technical aspects and really wrapping my head around the industry, I'm there now, took some doing, but just seeing what Truck Right does and how it makes life better for drivers is inspiring, and it's what keeps me going. I love this industry, having worked across from and in so many over the years. The people in this industry are amazing. I can't see myself ever not being in this industry ever again for the rest of my life. It's just awesome, and there's no it's direct. There's no pretense. The truth comes out really fast in every discussion ever, right? That's as a marketer. I mean, as a marketer, if I'm going to be selfish, if I need data, real authentic data, it's not hard to get it, because when you ask, the questions get answered very, very clearly and honestly, and typically are very well aligned.
And so, I mean, that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. My next question was about the conference and the big event, Charlotte. And of course, we're giving out the awards, and we're celebrating those winners, but we're also going to be sharing that data. We're just going to tell like it is. This is what we found. This is what folks are doing. This is what folks are not doing. And all the material is right there. And so the critical question is, are you going to be there?
Oh yeah, we are going to be there. We're super excited for it. I love celebrating people who are doing great work in the industry and especially making life good for drivers. That's big for us, and we want to be there to raise a toast to them when it happens. But the opportunity to learn, and not just learn the fundamentals of the industry, but what's happening right now, right? What are the problems right at this minute, or are there emerging problems? Are there trends we're seeing that we can address before they become problems? That's super valuable for our team, our executive team, to learn from, to pass along to our people. I mean, but also we make software that helps make drivers' lives easier, and we can take, I mean, a lot of it won't apply, some of it will apply. Like we're seeing this and this, how can we take that selfishly and make our product better for our clients? There aren't a lot of better learning opportunities than fresh, robust, juicy data that you guys get from everyone you're talking to in figuring out who deserves these accolades.
And I've maintained this time and again that tech industries who come into trucking, they need to do one thing in particular really well. That's have the ability to shut up and listen.
Yeah.
Because the data, the material is there. People will tell you, but you can't go in thinking you've got a magic wand and you're going to solve trucking, because trucking will school you.
Yeah.
So take the
Yeah.
time, slow down, and just listen, and the answers will be there.
Yeah, and especially as new types of drivers come into the industry, and I mean that from a demographic perspective.
Yep.
Younger drivers, more women. We know there are cultural shifts happening as well, and making sure that we're not assuming what's always been true remains true, because it isn't. Especially since that that pandemic thing that happened for a couple of years there. It's different. It was distinctly different coming out of that, and it's going to continue to evolve as the industry gets younger. It has to get younger. All industries do. That's the bell curve of the population of North America, right? So things are going to continue to shift, and listening is everything, and knowing what the situation is right now as opposed to what it was last year at this time during the pandemic, right before the pandemic, or 20 years before that. Of course, there are premises that never change. There are golden rules, but also sometimes golden rules evolve too. And if you're not paying attention to the data, you can't evolve them. And so, ask, get the answers, respond accordingly. That's all you can do, and what you have to do.
That's it.
Well put.
So what do you think, Trish? We're all going to be there in Charlotte? You're looking forward to it?
We are all going to be there, and when this comes out, we'll be less than 2 weeks away. So I'm looking forward to seeing you, Chris. And I know that it's going to be a wonderful time, filled with insights, filled with fun, lots of networking. It'll be a great time.
I'm really excited to see your team. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you guys, and you're going to be busy, so I won't get to jabber in your ear as much as I usually do. But it'll be
we'll
good to
make
see
time.
you. And we're really stoked to be there, and we're excited. So we'll see you in it is under a month. We're a month and change away, so it's soonish.
As of recording, we're 5.5 weeks, but when this comes out, we'll be a week and a half away.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
coming up quick.
Yeah, cool. We'll see you soon, friends.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it, and we appreciate Truck Right, and looking forward to seeing you in April.
Cheers, guys.
See you then. Welcome back, everyone. Rick and I are here for the third installment of our sponsors podcast, and this time we're speaking with Netrodyne, our newest sponsor. Today, we are going to speak with the lovely Kristen Tedesco. Kristen, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Trish. Happy to be here.
Oh, well, we're thrilled to have you, and we're thrilled to have you as one of our new sponsors. This is your first year sponsoring the Best Fleets to Drive For program. Can you tell us why you got involved with it?
Yeah, so we've always admired the Best Fleets program and what it's all about, and we consider ourselves a really driver-friendly video safety platform. And so it just seemed like such a good fit, really, since your program is really focused on driver input. So yeah, that's why.
Amazing.
So if someone doesn't know what Netrodyne is, can you give us the overview, and how does it help drivers?
Yeah, so it's really an AI-enabled in-cab camera with an entire platform around it: manager portal, driver app, coaching, etc. So it's really a complete solution, and plugs in, to other telematics programs for integration as well. So the reason that Netrodyne became a company is actually because our founders, they saw what was happening with camera technology in the cab, and the part that they didn't like is that it all seemed very negative, right, toward the driver. Don't hard brake, it's don't do this, high G-force. Everything was negative. And so they thought, how can we flip the script and make things a more positive experience for the driver? you're going to have a camera in your truck eventually at some point. This is the way things are going. So we kind of feel like, why not make that experience just like a little more positive, be able to balance the conversation between manager and driver, and even enable more freedom for the drivers. So through our driver app and our automated coaching, our virtual coach that come along with this camera platform, we really want to the give the responsibility and the freedom back to the driver. Allow them to do their own self-coaching. It works better than being told what to do, and it makes them feel better about the situation. We also have, because we analyze the entire drive, we're able to see all the good driving that's happening, including all the proactive moves drivers are doing to be safe out there on the roads. And we give them points for that on their driver score. And so it really just creates a structure for rewards, automatic positive reinforcement. And that's why we think that we're really the most driver friendly solution out there.
That is super interesting. You've actually pieced together a bunch of different things. There are a bunch of different ways that I think Netrodyne matches both the Best Fleets program and the companies that are in Best Fleets. When the program first started, one of the issues was, the conversation that was happening in the industry was about the companies. It was about, moving freight. Very few conversations were happening about, quality of work, quality of life for drivers. And so the program comes on to, as you say, flip the script and say, all right, so what is it like to be a good place to work at as a driver? And so this connects with exactly your approach with, all right, let's do this more like we have the drivers in mind rather than sort of speaking with them rather than speaking at them.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. I like that. And the other thing that we're seeing, particularly this year in the program, are those Best Fleets are really engaging in that conversation between, say, managers and drivers rather than just unidirectionally. It's this ongoing feedback loop rather than just do what I say. And that very much seems to connect with what you got there.
Yeah, and I noticed that you on the Best Fleets website, it's listing the driver satisfaction and where there are current struggles, which is like driver input into new tech, right? Coaching, mentoring, connection between job performance and compensation. And those are places where we play. There's more on your list, right? But those are kind of some of the things that we can help out with.
Yeah.
And as you were talking there, Kristen, I was thinking about every parenting class that I ever went to. They always said, catch your toddler behaving well. And I was thinking, how often do drivers hear, you did a great job, excellent job with that? They probably don't get that a lot. So having a product that can be praising what they're doing also fantastic.
Yeah, and it can give fleet managers confidence too, right? So where they might have been guessing a little bit before, like, oh, I think I know who my top drivers are because the guys have never been in an accident, right? Well, or they might have just been lucky. So, it's kind of nice. Now we can give them the full picture and they can feel really confident in who they're rewarding and who they're selecting for additional training, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't change it if you're not measuring it. And right, so if there are things going in there, you need to know exactly what's going right, what's going wrong, and how to target it, rather than just saying, well, everyone's going in for remedial training, or you're focusing on something that actually the problem sits somewhere else. And so you're opening up that sort of vault of data to give more information.
Absolutely. And that's where we plug in really well with other industry players like Carrier's Edge, for example, where we are, then they're carrying that a step further with the customized coaching and really like understanding this person needs this exact training. And so that's what they'll get. So yeah, it's just all complementary.
Huh.
I was fortunate enough to speak to one of the interviews that I did was with a fleet that recently became one of your customers. And in talking to them, it was so interesting. They had nothing but praise for it because they said how customized it is. And now they can pinpoint down, this driver needs this. This driver needs that. This driver doesn't need any new technology, no new training. It's just about reinforcement. They had nothing but good things to say about it, and the drivers loved it too.
That's great to hear.
So let's talk about the conference a little bit. When this comes out, this podcast, we're going to be about a week and a half, 2 weeks away from the conference. What are you looking forward to at it?
Well, it's always nice to be in a room of bests, right? So like all just learning from each other and feeding off of the energy of being best at something. I think that's really special. So, for me, I love networking, talking to people, talking to our customers, talking to other fleets about their best practices. So yeah, I think that to me is going to be the most exciting part.
We're looking forward to that too, aren't we, Rick?
Absolutely. And I think that, well, I think about elite athletes, like, a top baseball pitcher, right? These are people who, it's not like they stop getting coached, right? In fact, at that level, you need even more coaching, right? It's much more fine-tuned, but the people at the top of the game still want to push even further. And so the education event, which is the new angle of the awards conference this year, is that we're going to be adding in all this new information for people who are already hitting our Hall of Fame. We're already hitting our top 20 list, but there's still more to learn. We're going to be sharing all that data, all those insights, all those driver survey results in the same way that even if you've got a driver who is at absolutely top of the game, he's a 20, 30-year vet. He's got 5 million miles under his belt. There are still things to learn. Regulations change, new insights happen. Maybe he's doing things that he never noticed before. And so that connection of, even if you are the best, there's still more that you can be doing to stay that way.
Yeah.
True.
And we can all use reminders, right? So like, I think I'm a good driver, but I'm not perfect. And, just that awareness of like an in-cab alert being like distracted, right? It's good to have that reminder.
You're not wrong. Having driven for what, 35 years now, I've never had an accident, but I sometimes have an in-cab alert when my teenager goes, did you really, was that a rolling stop or was it an actual stop? Okay, yeah. So we can only use a little bit of tweaking here and there.
Kristen, it's been wonderful speaking with you today. Are there any other thoughts you want to share with our viewers?
I think that pretty much covers it. Just also that we're excited the program awards ceremony will be at the NASCAR Hall of Fame this year, which seems pretty fun.
It is. I've got to say, I got to go do a sneak peek at it. It's a fantastic location. And, you talk about being with the best, it's the best in the best location.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you very much for joining us today, and also for being a great sponsor for us. And
Definitely.
I want to thank Epic View and TruckRight and Netrodyne together as wonderful sponsors for our event and our program. And I look forward to seeing everyone there in, Trish, what do you say, when this comes out in about a week, 2 weeks time?
Yes. Yes. April 8th is just around the corner.
Amazing. So, Kristen, thank you again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And congratulations to all the winners and nominees. Well,
Amazing.
Thanks so much.